This is your crash course in buying slash merchandising because I get this question all the time whenever I tell people what I do in the fashion industry. Hey y'all, my name is Tania and I have worked in the footwear and fashion space for the past almost 6 years. When you ask me, I will say that I have worked in fashion my whole career because when I worked at a footwear company, I was working in the apparel and accessories space. So I've been dealing with clothes and accessories my whole career, and that aspect of my job I really, really love. As a buyer, my job is to decide what we carry and how much of it. Depends on what you're buying for. So certain people do certain categories. Like in my current job, I was men's. At my last job, I was over North America apparel and accessories. Saying, what does all of that mean? So basically, I work with the designers and we create an assortment, which is basically all the products you're gonna carry for any given period of time. That might just be for one season, it might be for 2 seasons. It literally just depends on the company. And then at that point, that's where my job really kicks in because I have to decide what we're gonna carry, where is it gonna go, and how much of it we're going to keep in stock. A lot of the times the designers are not only creating stuff for me, I work in e-commerce right now, but they're also creating stuff for stores, right? And they also might be creating stuff for e-commerce and stores in other countries, right? So it is my job to be the consumer expert, to know what people in my region, in the area that I buy for, is buying. What I have to do is study the trends. What are people buying? And then I also have to look at what people are buying from us from prior years. You know, when you go to buy something on somebody's website and they have you put in like your name, your age, maybe where you live, all of that information is stored in their database. So people like me can go back in and look. I don't have like access to your name or anything, but just your general demographic information. That's the level of access I have to your information, but it allows me to make the best decision when I'm planning a new season. So once I feel like I've nailed down a good assortment, I have to decide how much of it we're gonna carry. First way is like, how confident do I feel in the style? If we have never sold gold pants before and somehow a gold pant has made it into my assortment, I can't say I'm gonna go buy 10,000 units of it, right? But if it's something like, okay, this could be interesting, I wanna test it, let's see, I could buy 1,000 and just see. Each brand kind of has their tried and true styles. Like you'll see Old Navy will update their dresses in a new print every year. Those they probably buy a lot of because they have the data to back up that people will buy them. Because one thing you have to realize is that your warehouse cannot hold infinite amounts of product, right? Product is here, you're so excited, but this often happens, the product is not selling, so what do? So you have a few options. So first, you can say, is the product easily findable on your website if you work in e-commerce like me? Or if it's in a store, can customers see the product? That is box number 1, because a lot of times things are not selling because people cannot find them. And then the next thing I would look at is, okay, if people can find the product, are the images of the product good? Does it really show the value of the product? Like, is there something that it's missing? And then if that still doesn't work, you need to look at how the product is priced compared to your competitors. Because if you're selling a t-shirt for $50 and PacSun is selling the t-shirt for $24.99, I'm sorry to tell you, the consumer might not be seeing the value in your product. The last one is discounts and promos. And you might be saying, Tania, aren't those the same thing? They are not. That is a common misconception. So a discount typically is product specific. So all my t-shirts to be $19.99. It's typically at a set price. Not all the time though. And promotions are typically, we're having 50% off site-wide, or all pants are half off, or buy one, get one free. That's kind of the difference between promos and discounts. End of season comes and you have to figure out what you're gonna do with all of your excess inventory, because you are gonna have some. Ooh, I almost waterboarded myself. So when I worked at a bigger retailer, what we would do is we would take all of our, because I worked on our direct-to-consumer business, so I worked in the stores and I worked on our website, so I did all the merchandising for that. So when we would have excess inventory, we would take it and funnel that into our outlet stores. So there was a constant stream of new product going into our outlet stores. But that is a huge privilege to be able to do because most places do not have that sort of dumping ground for excess inventory. So you have to be smart and strategic. And I really hope that if you ever wanted to work in the fashion industry, you would definitely consider merchandising and buying if you have never, because I do think it's very interesting. And I feel like it's something that you don't hear people, especially that look like me, doing a lot.